Moving on to some shocking news from Indore in Madhya Pradesh. A government inspection has exposed the torture and inhumane treatment of children at an orphanage in Indore in Madhya Pradesh. All the children were aged between 4 and 14. 21 orphans were subjected to severe forms of abuse and torture. This included branding with iron talks, and these were children from Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Odisha and MP. And government officials discovered that these children were also hung upside down from the railing, and they were being forced to inhale smoke from chimneys as forms of punishment. Now an FIR has been registered against the institution. Let's go across to my colleague Anurag Tiwari, but first let's look at some reactions.
विजयनगर थाने के अंतर्गत एक हॉस्टल, एक बाल गृह कह सकते हैं, वो संचालित था और उसमें एक संचालिका के द्वारा कुछ बच्चों को भी रखा गया था। ये सभी बच्चे जो थे वो माइनर्स थे और उनका वहाँ पर संचालन किया जा रहा था। एक सूचना के आधार पर प्रशासन के द्वारा एक कार्रवाई की गई थी, जिसमें एक रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन करके और उनको चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमेटी जो इंदौर है उनको सौंपा गया था।
Yes, this is what the police has said, and a horrific tale of torture has now tumbled out from this orphanage in Indore. And I quote from what the children have informed, to the Child Welfare Committee. One of the 4-year, and this is the part of the FIR also, one of a 4-year-old boy was confined to the bathroom for hours for defecating in his trousers. He was not given food for 2 to 3 days. The FIR also carries the picture of alleged abuse and torture. The terrified children also told this to the Child Welfare Committee that they were hung upside down, branded with hot iron rod, tortured with red chili smoke, and photographed after being stripped naked as a punishment over minor mistakes or no mistakes at all. Now the police is investigating the case. 5 people have been booked, but no arrests have been made as of now. The children have been shifted to another government facilities, and that particular orphanage was sealed by the district officials.
We have Priyank Kanugo, who's the head of the NCPCR, an apex body that works for child rights, on the phone line with us. Mr. Kanugo, you've been very active in the area of child rights, and I remember even when the JJ Act, the amendments were made, there was specific care to ensure that child welfare committees, the CWCs, are empowered to take decisions with regard to children, and there is constant monitoring. With respect to what happened in Indore, would the body be looking at this, sir?
Actually, it is a gross violation of Juvenile Justice Act. Every children home keeping children who are in need of care and protection need to be registered with the government. We came to know from the state government officials that have raided this illegal institution, they have inspected it, and they got to know that children were brutally beaten there and they were tortured there in that particular facility, and it is not a registered children home. As well as they have got information that we are having more such institutions. This particular organization is having more such institutions across the country. So we are taking cognizance and we will look after it, and we will inspect all such institutions belong to this organization.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Kanugo, for speaking to NDTV. NCPCR head says that the body is taking cognizance of this horrible incident that has happened in Indore, where 21 children have been found to have been tortured in an orphanage. We also have Ravikant, who is an advocate at the Supreme Court and also runs director of Access for Justice for Children. Sir, how do you see this terrible incident, these details that have come out? And clearly, there is a need for thorough checking, screening and background checks of people who deal with children. And tell me, is it because some orphanages are registered under the JJ Act and some of them are not? Is that why this happens?
Yeah, this is very serious and concerning and disturbing news, actually. And also, I'm very thankful to NCPCR that they have taken cognizance of, the Honorable Chairperson has taken cognizance of the same. Having said that, it is very important to understand that the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act is there to govern all the shelter homes and how children have to be, dealt with. And this case is a violation, clear violation of the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act. All these shelter homes and orphanages have to be registered under Section 42 of the Juvenile Justice Act, and there is a punishment for non-registration. Apart from that, the government is authorized. There are various bodies within the districts, like the district child protection units, the child welfare committee, the legal services authority, the district magistrates, they are all authorized, to visit these homes and find out the details of how they are treating the children. So there are a lot of accountability fixed on the district level authorities. We have to see whether these things were complied with or not, and also it's very shocking to know that this shelter home was running without registration for such a long period of time. Another area of concern is that there are children from across the country and from far-flung states. And it is very important to know whether these children were placed in the orphanages with the orders of the Child Welfare Committee. That has also to be investigated and found out. Whether Child Welfare Committee was knowing about this shelter home, that is also to be found out.
Right.
So overall, it's the responsibility of everyone. But I think the administration has now taken and investigations will follow.
Right. Mr. Kant, also tell us what happens now, because the police has also taken cognizance of this. There's investigation on, there's an FIR that has been lodged. But when it comes to, we have very serious case, we have laws like POCSO in place which have serious punishment, and these laws have been amended time and again to make them more child friendly. But what happens now? What happens to the accused? What is the rate of conviction when it comes to crimes against children? Especially we are talking about orphan children here.
I think the cases have been registered, and further sections will be added under POCSO as well as human trafficking. The case should be, dealt with fast track, and because these trials do take a lot of time, the shelter homes should be sealed at once. Investigation of various other agencies who were monitoring it needs to be done. And also, as I have said, that this case need to be fast-tracked, faster investigation and faster trial. Right. Both these are to be done. Otherwise, many of these cases continue to be pending in courts, and then there will be no results.
Right.
So, of course, that is very important that this.
So faster investigation, faster trial, but most importantly, screening and background checks of children, of people who deal with children in orphanages. That seems to be the way forward. Thank you, Mr. Ravikant, for joining us.